Hi, I'm Amy Iannatelli, Executive Director of Circle of Friends Services. We provide in-home counseling services to children and families in the child welfare system. We specialize in trauma, and this is one of the play therapy interventions that we use with our kids. So today I'm going to demonstrate a play therapy intervention. It's a creative intervention that we use called the Pictorial Timeline. And this will help children to explore their trauma narrative, explore what has happened to them, but in a playful and non-directive way so that they can use pictures to show what's happened to them instead of using words and having to verbalize what has happened. So the first thing you want to do for this activity is you want to draw the line, the actual timeline, beginning with when they were born and ending with their current age. So I'm going to do that now. And we're going to pretend that this child is 10 years old. So we put 0 to 10. Now the next thing I do when I'm meeting with a child is I'll explain that we're going to fill in significant things that have happened to him or her at various ages. And they don't have to remember everything. They don't have to know the exact age that they were. It's okay to take their best guess. They can include their family members. I've been in homes where they want to include mom and say, hey mom, when did this happen to me? Or when did I change schools? And then that will invite the parent to be involved in this process, and that's okay. That's really a good thing. It's really up to the child and the family and your clinical decision on who needs to be included in this session. So again, just reinforce with the child and family that this does not have to be perfect and they do not have to be a good artist. They can really just do the best that they can. So the next thing I do with them is I will go through, I have a list, which we will share with you at the end of this video, of significant events that have happened to children and how we're going to represent them with a picture. So the first thing on my list that I have, and I will say this to a child, can you please draw some blocks when you first started school? So the child will maybe say, okay. At age 5, I started a new school. So probably when he went to kindergarten. And these are some blocks. Then the next one is I'll say, if you had a new baby born into your family, draw when that happened. And again, you don't have to stick to black. I let kids choose whatever color they want to do. So we're going to choose blue. And we're going to say that maybe at 4, they had a new baby born. Now, there's a whole bunch of these, probably about 15 different events. Not all of them will apply. You can go through each one and see if that applies to them. If you know it doesn't, you can skip it. If they would like to fill in any other ones that you didn't describe, that's allowed too. I'm going to do one more, and then we're going to talk about how to process this event. The next one can be joined a team, club, or organization. That's a positive event. We want to include both. So, oops. Maybe at 6 years old, they joined a team or a club that they felt really good about. Okay, so you would go through the whole series until they're done, and then I'm going to show you what that might look like. So here's one that's much more filled out, and I'm going to point out what some of these mean for you. A triangle represents that the client went into foster care. A house represents that they moved. The 3 bars represents that a family member went to jail. A sad face represents that the child witnessed family violence. This is a pill bottle that is crossed out, meaning they had a family member go receive substance abuse treatment. This is a gravestone representing that a child had a death in the family. So again, we're going to include all these symbols for you on a separate slide at the end of the video, so you'll have that information to do this yourself. But once it's all done, you can see that it represents visually for you what's going on with this child, and they get to have that insight as well. So for this particular child, you can see a lot of stuff what was happening at age 9. And really this is a lot of trauma. So not only was he put into foster care, but then a lot of changes happened. He changed schools, he moved, he witnessed family violence. This is a lot, and sometimes the clients might not even have the insight to know that a lot had happened in a very short amount of time. So as the therapist, this gives you opportunity to help the client gain insight, to express their feelings about things, to start the trauma narrative in a really safe way. And the therapist can validate their feelings, validate how scary things might have been, validate some accomplishments that they've had in the past and their strengths. It also gives the therapist an opportunity to get rid of faulty thinking. You know, the child might say, you know, well, this was my fault. And you get opportunity to say, this was not your fault. And you can talk about adults' job to keep them safe. So instead of having a very difficult conversation, this becomes a whole lot easier through the use of play and art and a medium that's a lot more comfortable for children. So again, I'm going to include the instructions and all the symbols for you on a separate slide right after this video, with also my contact information if you have any questions. So good luck to you, and thanks for watching this play therapy intervention.